In the unscripted television industry, a public scandal is a highly valuable commodity. Standard operating procedure dictates talent must engage, argue, and reconcile to satisfy the narrative algorithm. But faced with a catastrophic public betrayal, one cast member opted for a different strategy: absolute silence. Ariana Madix spent over a decade operating within this framework on Bravo's Vanderpump Rules. The economic model of the show is straightforward. Cast members are compensated to mine their personal lives for primetime ratings, reacting to every grievance with maximum emotional output. That model was put to the test when it was revealed her partner of nearly 10 years, Tom Sandoval, had engaged in a months-long affair with a close friend and fellow castmate. The resulting fallout commanded global media attention. Instead of following the established playbook of tearful sit-downs and eventual forgiveness, Madix systematically dismantled the production's authority over her storyline. She took her personal boundaries and used them to create a form of leverage the show's producers couldn't easily bypass. In an ecosystem that relies entirely on forced proximity and manufactured conflict to survive, a star who simply refuses to participate presents a major disruption. The immediate defense mechanism Madix deployed is a psychological tactic known as gray rocking. It involves responding to toxic behavior with total apathy and emotional detachment. She set a strict boundary, refusing to grant Sandoval the on-camera interaction the production required. This unyielding posture resonated with viewers. By declining to participate in the typical reality television cycle of outrage and reconciliation, she secured a position of moral immunity with the streaming audience. Back on set, this detachment created a logistical problem. Producers and castmates were actively attempting to construct a redemption arc for Sandoval, a standard television trope. Without Madix's emotional reactions to fuel that storyline, the narrative stalled. Her silence served as a targeted embargo on the production's most valuable narrative currency. They needed a two-sided conflict to drive the season, and she refused to supply her half of the equation. Maintaining this level of defiance against a major television network requires structural leverage. Madix secured this by rapidly monetizing her public profile outside of the Bravo ecosystem. She took on the role of Roxy Hart in the musical Chicago, which resulted in a record-breaking debut week. The production grossed over $939,000, proving her marketability beyond the constraints of reality television. This chart compares her estimated base network salary of roughly $600,000 against a portfolio of external ventures. By hosting Love Island USA, publishing a cocktail book, locking in sponsorships with brands like Uber and Bic, and opening a sandwich shop, her independent revenue streams swelled to an estimated $2.5 million. Looking at these figures, the baseline reality television paycheck no longer represents her primary source of income. This diversification resulted in a leverage ratio of 4-to-1, effectively neutralizing her network dependency. By building this economic fortress, she decoupled her financial stability from the show's environment. The network executives lost their traditional coercive leverage because she no longer needed their platform for her financial survival. The tension culminated in the season 11 finale. The entire cast was assembled at a public event, setting the stage for what appeared to be an orchestrated on-camera reconciliation trap. As Sandoval approached to deliver a calculated apology, Madix maintained total visual detachment. She refused to break her gaze from her mobile device, and rather than engage, she turned and walked out of the venue. This exit triggered an immediate disruption. An executive producer physically entered the camera frame to intercept her, a rare breach of the fourth wall, audibly pleading with her not to end the season without a confrontation. Madix unclicked her microphone and addressed the staff, exposing the mechanics of the show. She stated that the apology was performative, noting, "I am the final boss in his video game of redemption, and because he can't get to the final boss, he's fucking pissed." By physically unclipping her microphone and removing herself from the frame, she demonstrated that while the network owns the footage, the talent still holds the power to deny them the ending they want. This assertion of power triggered immediate concern among her castmates. Legacy performers like Lala Kent realized their own financial stability was tied to the show's ability to deliver a specific type of ensemble conflict. While Madix had insulated her wealth across multiple industries, co-stars like Sheena Shea strictly depend on the financial ecosystem of the network. Their livelihoods relied on a forced ensemble harmony that was rapidly deteriorating. Producers reportedly capitalized on this anxiety, informing the cast mid-season that if the non-cooperation continued, the series itself might face cancellation. This move successfully turned the compliant cast members against Madix's boundaries. When a reality performer relies exclusively on a single corporate paycheck, any peer who achieves true structural independence becomes a threat to the group's collective job security. The implications of this standoff suggest a shift in the industry. Networks are now forced to navigate self-aware stars who possess the leverage to dictate their own filming parameters. Survival in unscripted media now requires more than a willingness to perform. It demands a level of digital marketability and a baseline of financial sovereignty that insulates talent from executive pressure. The traditional model of reality television, where producers held absolute authority over their talent, is being challenged by those who can build a platform elsewhere. Ariana Madix navigated a personal crisis by removing herself from the established narrative algorithm. In doing so, she demonstrated that with enough external diversification, a reality star can successfully resist network coercion and protect their own interests.